So in this video, we are going to see how to create private subnet as well as private instances and how to communicate to the private instances. So in a large enterprise, all the data will not be put into a public subnet because, for example, the database, everything will be put into a private subnet, private instances, which could not be accessible through the internet. On the front end or the index page could be set to public subnet, public instances to access it through internet. So for that, already here we have created a subnet, but how can we identify whether a subnet is public or private? We need to go to the route table associated with the subnet. Here we have custom route table. We need to find the routes in that. So the internet gateway is associated with this route table. So which means this internet gateway will allow all traffic from the internet to access this subnet as well as the instances launched in the subnet. So what we are going to do, we are going to rename it as, here we are going to rename it as public, custom public subnet 1. So likewise, I am going to create another one public subnet and two private subnet. So we are going to create 4 subnets, 2 public and 2 private. Create subnet, custom VPC, then subnet name as custom public subnet 2. I'm going to create it in 1B, another availability zone. Then, okay, we need to find the IPv4 address. I'm going to AP subnetting calculator. I'm going to put the IP address 1.0. I'm going to press enter. Already we have this IP for a public subnet. So here we can see the public address is 192.168.1.0/26. So we are going to use this in 1B availability zone. Create subnet. So this subnet is created in 1A and this public subnet is created in second public subnet is created in 1B. So now we are going to create private subnet in both availability zone. Create subnet, custom VPC, custom private subnet 1. So we are going to make this in 1A and the IP addresses. So we can also add new subnet and create here custom private subnet 4. Here 3. Availability zone as 1B, as I have created this subnet is in 1A, so we are going to create this one in 1B. So let's copy the IP address. So give create subnet. So now we can see there are 4 subnets. Public subnet 1, 2 and private subnet 3 and 4. Now to make this private subnet to have the private route, so we need to ensure that the so I'm going to click the public subnet 1, edit subnet setting, auto assign IP address. We need to ensure whether the enable auto assign public IPv4 is checked or not. So I'm also going to check for the second subnet. Edit subnet settings, enable auto assign public IPv4 address, then give save. Okay, now we are going to create a private route table. Give create route table, custom private route table for custom VPC. Give create route table. Now we have only one target as local. So we have not added the internet gateway to this routes. So this subnet or the instances launched in this subnet could not communicate through internet. So okay. So now what we need to do, we need to associate the private route table to the private subnets. So click on custom private route table. Here we can see subnet association. So what we need to do, give edit subnet association, select both the private subnets, give save association. So now we can see that 2 private subnets are associated with this route table, private route table. So we can also check with this subnet association. So we are going to associate this both public subnet to the public route table. So you can see here 2 subnets are associated with this route table and another 2 subnets are associated with this one. So you can also cross verify with the subnet associations. Okay, then custom private subnet association. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to launch instance 1 in public subnet and another in private subnet. We are going to access the public instance or the instances that is launched in public subnet and through RDP connection. We are also going to connect to the private instance. So let's go to EC2 instances, click launch instance, Windows, public, choose Windows. So where we can cross verify by accessing it through RDP. So then T3 micro, key pair, first key, or then in network setting, I'm going to choose custom VPC, public subnet 1. As it is public, it should be enabled. Auto assign public IP should be enabled. Then we are going to select the existing security group, custom VPC security group. Then I'm going to launch it. Meanwhile, let's also launch another instance in private subnet. choose Windows 2022 base. Then select the key pair. In network settings, give custom VPC, and we are going to go with the as it is private. This could be in disable state. Select existing security group. Then go with custom VPC security group. Give launch instance. And now let's wait for a while. Now we can connect to this public instance. Connect RDP client. Decrypt the password. Key custom VPC cable. Open. Decrypt password. So now I'm going to open remote desktop. Copy the public IP. Give connect. Username. Yes. So we are going to decrypt the private instance. Okay, give connect. RDP client. So here we can see only we have the private IP. As this is launched in a private subnet. Okay, give get password. Upload private key file. Custom VPC. Okay. Now decrypt password. Copy the private IP. So open the RDP. Now here we are going to search for remote desktop. Give connect. So we are also going to cross check whether we can access the internet or not, as we have not added any internet gateway connection to this subnet. So once it is done, we are going to check with accessing the any website page. So now go to Microsoft Edge. So now we are in private subnet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to search for something. So we can see here we cannot reach this page. Okay, now I'm going to open Edge again. So now we can see still let us access something. So yes, through this instance, through this server, we can access the internet because we have configured the gateway along with the routable. So this is the difference between private subnet as well as public subnet and private instance and public instance.